Okay, hello ladies and gentlemen, Forrest Walper here, and welcome back to Ace Attorney Investigations Collection. It has been about a month, almost a month and a half, since I last played Ace Attorney Investigations. But here we are, playing this game again here tonight, and I've been looking forward to at least finishing off the first game before playing Trials and Tribulations of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. But either way, we're going to go ahead and continue. We're basically going to finish off the story that I left on hold because it was September going into October. But we're finally going to see the end to the second case of the game. So without further ado, let's begin. March 12th, 3:35 p.m. Flight G390, lower deck, cargo hold. Miss Meal. Miss Meal! Huh? Do you recall what you said earlier? About when you answered some service calls as we were departing from Zhengfa? Huh? You said that Mr. Hicks was sitting in his seat at that time. However, that is simply not possible. Because Mr. Hicks was dead long before we ever touched down in Zhengfa. Oh? Miss Cammy Meal! Maybe I didn't see what I thought I did? No one could make a mistake so large, Miss Meal. But I make that kind of boo-boo all the time. This is going nowhere. There must be a better way to resolving this contradiction. Very well. Miss Meal, if you please, tell me about your alibi during the time span. From just before we were to land at 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. when the body was found. Are you telling me I'm a suspect, Mr. Edgeworth? Testimony. Miss Meal's alibi. Oh, yeah. From 3 to 4, I was, in the flight attendant's room all by my lonesome self. Yeah. And from 5 to 6, I was, in the flight attendant's room all by my lonesome self. How is a man supposed to react to a testimony like that? Miss Meal, wake up! She fell asleep again. It looks like the only way I'm going to be able to wake her up is by pressing her. Rebuttal. Miss Meal's alibi.
Hold it!
If I remember correctly, food was being served in first class in the lounge between the hours of 3 and 4 a.m. Yeah, but that kind of stuff's run by Miss Rhoda. Then what were you doing in the attendance room at that time? Eating and then having the most delicious dream. You mean you were neglecting your duties? No way, sleeping's part of our job too, you know. I don't think that's what he means, ma'am, but alright then.
Hold it!
So you were alone the entire time, were you? Yeah, no one else even popped their head in to say hi. Oh? Well, I think a contradiction just popped in to say hi. I love that. What should I do? Should I raise an objection? So here's the thing, alright? Let's take a look at the court record here. Let's take a look at the cargo hold. Not the cargo hold, let's take a look at the, See, I'm trying to think about this, because I'm pretty sure there is an objection here. Yeah, right here. That would be our key right here. Miss Meal! There's a clear contradiction embedded in your testimony. Huh? What are you talking about? It's not possible that you were alone in the attendance room that whole time from 5 to 6 p.m.
Take that!
I wonder if you would be so kind as to take a look at this receipt, Miss Meal. Huh? A receipt? For what? It's for the suitcase Miss Tenero bought. Now, if I may direct your attention to the timestamp. As you can see, it clearly says 5:40 a.m. Miss Tenero. Yes. Huh? Why is the killer here? I thought you'd have her locked up by now. I requested that she be present as a witness so that we may straighten out your complex lie. Now then, Miss Tenero, between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m., you took a trip from first class down to the first floor in-flight shop, correct? Yes, I went to the shop to buy a suitcase. After which I went straight to the attendance room to drop it off. And did you see Miss Meal there at that time? No. So, Miss Meal, where were you really between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m.? Miss Cammy Meal! Huh? The bathroom? I'll be the one to ask the questions here. Yeah, maybe that's it. I probably just missed her. Nature calls, you know. Do you take me for a fool? That's a little too convenient to be true. But it's the truth. Cross my heart. I don't have enough conclusive proof to kind of argue at this stage. You don't believe me, do you? But please, won't you give me a chance and hear me out? Very well. Testimony. Reason for suspicion. Look, I know you're suspecting me because I'm one of the crew. But you'd think then maybe you should also suspect Miss Rhoda too. She's the one in charge of the elevator keycard in the shop, you know. If you ask me, that makes her super suspicious. Please leave Miss Tenero out of the conversation. Only you are under suspicion for now. I don't get it. Why are you covering for Miss Rhoda all of a sudden? Oh! Now I got it. Maybe you've got your eye on Miss Rhoda. Of course I'm keeping an eye on her. I can't very well let her escape, can I? Never mind. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we all know. Yeah, so I want to point out, she doesn't mean what he thinks she means. She's thinking has at least a crush on her. But anyway, never mind. But you want to know something? Miss Rhoda actually kind of like... I have absolutely no interest in people who can't appreciate my sense of design. Damn. Oh, damn. Well, I don't know what to say there. I'll just say good luck to her on that one. Maybe she might actually find someone who appreciates her sense of design. Now's not the time for this sort of talk. Rebuttal. Reason for suspicion. Oh. Miss Smith, it's very unladylike to push suspicion onto someone else. That's not what I'm doing at all. I'm just saying that Miss Rhoda is very sus. There you go, pushing everything onto her again. I don't get what you're saying. It must be a really abstract concept, huh? The only thing abstract here is the landscape inside your head. Damn, that's weird. True.
Objection!
Okay, that's... Oh, really? Can you explain to me, sir? Well, hey, we got to see a new animation from her, so that's a plus. I feel like that letter is very important at some point here.
Objection!
Nope. That letter is important to the situation here. You know, she's not entirely wrong, but you got something in here too, you know. And what are you in charge of, Miss Meal, since you want to bring up her being in charge of stuff? I take care of the attendance room. That doesn't count! Aw, but I spent so much time in there! It might as well be my responsibility. Mr. Edgeworth, Tammy is very talented in languages, so she assists passengers who may not speak English, especially those who speak Borginian. She is the only one on this flight who is fluent. Oh! You mean that kind of what am I in charge of? Why didn't you say so in the first place? He did! You just can't understand what he's saying because you're so tired all the time at this point. What else could I have meant? Exactly! Yeah, so I'm really good at Borginian. She's fluent in Borginian. Then I suppose you're in charge of processing documents in Borginian. Yeah, I take care of anything that has to do with Borginian. Very interesting. Alright, you know what I was trying to do earlier? This is where it comes into play.
Objection!
So, you are the only one in this flight crew that speaks Borginian. Is that correct? Oh! Yeah, I guess so. I studied abroad in Virginia for a while. If that is the case, then the signature on this document belongs to you, doesn't it? This is a falsified piece of documentation with only one purpose: to lead anyone who read it to believe that Mr. Lebrun's statue was loaded in Europe. The only person who could have either prepared or processed this document in Virginian is you, Miss Meal. Without your participation, the smuggling of the Elif Red could not have occurred. Don't sleep while I'm pointing my finger at you! Oh, I wouldn't dream of falling asleep on you, Mr. Edgeworth. Ooh, she got all upset now. She got that game face on now, dude. It is exactly as you say. Are you confessing to have participated in the smuggling? No, far from it. It's true that I was the one who signed off on that document. But you can't use that fact alone to make your allegation of smuggling stick. There's no direct correlation after all. After all you have is my signature on a piece of paper. Really? All you did was sign it? I neglected to check if the cargo had been loaded onto the plane properly. So sorry about all that. It seems that she's finally woken up. This is going to be one tough fight. Suppose, and this is just a supposition, even if I was involved in the smuggling, you can't throw the charge of murder on me just like that.
Objection!
If you were involved in the smuggling, you would have a strong motive to kill. Agent Hicks was in the middle of an investigation regarding a smuggling ring. And just when he was about to close in, he's killed by a member of that ring. Well, did you ever start to think that Rhoda is a smuggling ring member? After all, unlike me, Rhoda has access to many things on this plane for war purposes. So perhaps there is some element of a setup at play in this case. What are you talking of? What are you talking about? Don't worry, I wasn't talking about you. I meant the killer. First it was myself, and now it's Miss Tenero who is under the microscope. Seems to me that our killer is going to great lengths to pin this crime on anyone they can. You have no proof that Rhoda is being set up or that she isn't. Actually, I believe that she was indeed the intended target from the very beginning. I believe that the plan was to push all the blame for the crime onto her. And this evidence will prove my suspicions. This proves that the killer was out to frame Miss Tenero from the very beginning. There's only one thing that could have prevented that could be used on her.
Take that!
The killer could have hidden the body anywhere, and yet they chose the suitcase. Why is that? Perhaps it was to move the body up from the lower deck to the first floor. However, why go through the trouble to do so? Oh dude, look at that face. She's like, oh no. The only way all of these actions made sense is if the killer had wanted to frame Miss Tenero for the murder. Miss Tenero buys a suitcase on every flight she works without fail. But should her suitcase be switched with one containing the victim's body, that would put her in a very tight spot. Unfortunately for the killer, the turbulence put an end to that plan. There wasn't enough time to put the body back into the suitcase. Ergo, they made do with whoever was at hand, adapted their plan, and tried to frame me as I lay unconscious on the floor from the turbulence. The killer then went to hide the suitcase in the in-flight shop and brought the piggy bank back to the elevator in order to fabricate a false weapon. A lot of work for a fruitless endeavor, wouldn't you agree? Sounds like the killer had a tortoise too, huh? I mean, why did the killer need to frame someone that badly anyway? That is because of the special circumstances surrounding this particular case. What special circumstance dictated the need for the killer to frame someone? Should be where the murder took place. The special circumstances is simply that the murder took place on a plane mid-flight. No matter which country, customs is quite strict in this day and age. So no matter what you do, the chances that the body will be found is very high. Therefore, there was no choice but to frame either Mr. Nero or myself. In other words, the only one who fits within the boundaries of the criminal's movements is not Mr. Nero or myself, but you, Miss Camille. Only you and you alone could be the killer. And? Are you done already? I want to pick up my sleep tablet. Wait. I was about to fall asleep again. Anyway, let's be honest here. You don't have anything on me other than a whole lot of circumstantial evidence. I can't see the outline of how the murder occurred, but I have no definitive evidence. And isn't there a bit of evidence that's still unaccounted for? That still can't quite fit into my big picture. This is where the fun begins. Alright. See? So, after a bit more of deliberation to myself, the one thing that we don't know much about, really, is this missing cell phone.
Take that!
I don't have any actual evidence. I thought not. But that's because it went missing, and still is. Missing? What do you mean by that? In the complex puzzle that is this case, there was one piece of paper getting stuck on, and that is the victim's cell phone. Franziska, you were waiting at the airport for a phone call from Agent Hiss' cell phone. Or at least that's what you told me. That's right. But Agent Hiss' cell phone could not be found at the crime scene. You mean the killer took the phone with them? Precisely. I suspected if we were to find that phone, it would lead us to the killer. Ha ha ha. Come on, get serious. If the victim photo is just that height, wouldn't it over it as well? We won't know that until we try a little experiment, will we? But this time I'd like to ask you for your assistance. You know the victim's phone number, don't you? Of course I do. Agent Hicks's phone! It's ringing from somewhere, sir! I hear it, Detective. Now where's it coming from? Oh, flight attendant's room, alright. Flight 4:12 p.m. Flight G390, first floor, flight attendant's room. The ringing's coming from somewhere in here, sir. That's right, leave no stone unturned, Detective Gumshoe. We must find it. Yeah, why is everyone getting kind of annoyed by that phone because they keep, ooh. The ringing's coming from here, sir! What? No, it can't be! This has gotta be the victim's cell phone! Just whose hacker is this, sir? It's Miss Tornado's. What?! March 12th, 4:28 p.m. Flight G390, lower deck, cargo hall. So, Mr. Edgeworth, how did it go? Where did you find the proof? I found it in the flight attendant's room. In Miss Tornado's locker. What? But Rhoda Tornado! I don't know anything about the phone. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Miss Von Karma, is it? I suggest you arrest Miss Rhoda Tornado right away.
Objection!
Wait! I have a theory. Not a game theory. This is related to the incident with the key card. When the killer went to steal the key card, they conveniently stashed the cell phone in Miss Tornado's locker at the same time.
Objection!
This is related to the key card, alright. In the same way that we have zero proof that the killer did just that. The only voice that sings the truth is evidence. That is the one bird we cannot ignore. I do. Francisca's right. I can't offer baseless conjectures at this point. Alright, then why did the culprit take the cell phone from Agent Hicks? It must have something very incriminating on it or in it.
Hold it!
What now, Miles Edgeworth? It is not over yet. We have yet to figure out why the killer took the phone. What? Inside this phone lies the final piece of incriminating evidence that will point us to our killer. We need to examine this phone in more detail. The LCD is broken. Without a screen, you can't even place a call with this. Ah, it's a camera lens. Come to think of it, I wonder. How's that do with Agent Hicks planning to preserve the crime scene of a smuggling? Francisca, I need you to confirm something. Take this cell phone. Can it take pictures? Mr. Edgeworth, I can't believe you don't know about this kind of basic stuff, sir. This looks like a very simple model to my own. Alright. This looks like a very similar model to my own. And mine can take photos just fine. Do you think Agent Hicks could have taken some pictures with this? In particular, pictures as evidence for his smuggling case. sorry, I've been, dozing off a little bit here and there, but, it is what it is. If so, I'd say there may be some very inconvenient footage in here for our Philip smuggler. But the phone's already busted up, sir. Even a super prosecutor can't repair a phone. Nobody's asleep now.
Objection!
Alright. Just wanted to make sure everything was all good before I did anything else there. Right. Actually, when you kind of think about it, sometimes looking at my phone might wake me up a bit more. Anyway, the LCD screens on the inside and outside are broken, that's for sure. But that's also reason enough to believe that the killer wasn't able to erase the data. What? What do you mean by that, Franziska? It looks like our killer isn't familiar with electronics. This phone still rang when I called it, meaning that only the LCD screens are broken. It's possible that the photos are still there inside, waiting to be accessed. All we need to do is transfer the data to my phone. Franziska! Your phone, if you please. Very well. It's transferring. Alright, displaying it now. Ooh. This is... Agent Hicks was most certainly trying to obtain some evidence for his smuggling case. Hey! The other Fred's nowhere in this pit, sir! But this has no meaning as a piece of evidence in this murder case, right? Ouch, she's right. There's not much we can find out from this about Agent Hicks' killer, sir. Is this it? Is this the end? Is there really nothing on this record we can use? Hey, what about, where... I don't know. where the thing was at. You know, where the thing was at beforehand. What's all this? Oh, they are the cargo ships from Virginia to Zengfa. So the reason they aren't here now is they were dropped off in Zengfa. Mr. LeBlanc, can you tell me the contents of the boxes? Unfortunately, there's no English written on them anywhere. One cluster box is written in Virginian. It says this. It is cloth in English. Cloth? Could it be? Is this where the killer... What? What for is that scary face? Miss Mew. Yes? It appears that Agent Hitz was no ordinary investigator. He left us with a piece of evidence after all. A striking piece that'll point out who his killer is. Ha! Maybe you shouldn't force your mistake and read another simple picture, Mr. Edgeworth. The Plutonian cargo in this piece of evidence will point us straight to the killer.
Take that!
And what is that supposed to prove? The killer used this piece of cloth to wipe up the blood they had split. Because, as LeBlanc has just shown, what was on that box's art was translated to cloth in English. So, it stands to reason that this piece of cloth came from those boxes. The killer used this piece of cloth to wipe up the blood they had spilt. But there was one thing that bothered me this whole time. Where did it come from? And now I have finally found my answer in this very photo. The cargo that was unloaded in Zengfa had cloth written on it. In Virginian, that is. And this is where the killer grabbed a piece from to clean up the blood with. That's right. The killer was someone who could read and understand Virginian. And the only crew member that fits that description is you, Miss Cammy Meal. Hold it! Ha! That's pretty flimsy. The killer probably searched through all the boxes looking for something to use. When you're frantic, you don't care if the box is in English or Virginian.
Objection!
Sorry, but I cannot agree with your assessment of the killer's indiscriminate nature. What? There was no need for the killer to tear through boxes at random at all. And if the killer supposedly could not comprehend Virginian, well then. Logically, the killer would have opened this box first. You guys ready for the big moment here? The correct answer is the bed sheets.
Take that!
Hey! It says bed sheets in English right on the box, sir! Precisely. And bed sheets would be perfect for cleaning up blood. What did you say? Hold it! So what are you trying to say? That if I were the criminal, this box of bedsheets would have been what I would have spotted first. However, the killer chose to use some Borginian cloth. Do you have an explanation for that? The killer didn't want anyone to know that the real scene of the crime was this cargo hold, so they were afraid to leave signs that the box with the sheets had been opened. However, the Virginian cloth, well, that's a horse of a different color. Because the killer knew that it was going to be unloaded in the Republic of Zangbar? That's right. That is why the Borginian cloth was used. And the only Borginian reader on board who could make such a calculated decision is you, Camille. You and you alone. It would be very easy for us to confirm if any of the boxes were resealed. All we would have to do is contact the Zangbar authorities in time. We may even find other evidence to incriminate our killer with those boxes. So what do you say, Miss Meal? Why not confess to your crime here and now? Or would you rather wait and see what we find out from our investigation in Zangbar? He was Interpol. Hold on a second. Is the music at all? So let me get this straight. The music is at its full capacity. And already the sound effects is like halfway through, and it was sounding a bit louder through my headphones. Okay, I can kind of hear a bit of a difference there. I brought him here. He started taking pictures. I couldn't be found out. I was scared. I was in trouble. I March 12th, 5:26 p.m. Flight G390, first floor lounge. We finished making all the arrangements to take the suspect in, sir. Very good, detective. What about the smuggling route? Did she say anything about that? They're taking her down the precinct now. Hopefully we can get more out of her there. Whenever we have even approached the topic, she just started foaming at the mouth. It was scary, sir. She probably wasn't prepared to commit a murder all of a sudden. One thing is for sure. The ring behind this whole mess means serious business. It looks like there's a lot more to this case than meets the eye. Mr. Edgeworth, I just wanted to say how much I appreciate everything you did. Thank you very much. It was nothing. In fact, I should be the one thanking you for your cooperation. But truly, if it wasn't for you, I might not be here right now. Instead, I can continue to serve our passengers as a flight attendant. I hope that, well, please accept this as a token of my appreciation. That's... I see. You don't have to take it if you don't want it. No. I mean, I would never turn down a lady's generous offer. Oh, thank you. I'm sure it will serve you well. And remember, we here at BOU Airlines are always ready to serve, Mr. Edgeworth. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind. Now I must bid you farewell. May all your skies be blue, no matter where you go. I can't believe we wound up investigating the whole day, sir. But boy, was it fun! Speak for yourself. My day was filled with earthquakes, elevators, and false charges. By the way, where's Franziska? Oh, she's filling out some customs paperwork for her departure. Departure? Yeah, Miss Von Karma's always really busy, sir. She's been flying from country to country to chase down some leads regarding her case. Detective, can you cancel the call I had you reserve earlier? You got it, sir! March 12th, 5:47 p.m. Hope Springs Airport. Franziska. I thought I told you when you first landed. I have no time for idle chatter. I have no intention of wasting your time. However, it has been a while since we last met. I also have no time for such familiar reminiscence. Just who do you think I am? You are Franziska Von Karma, a very proud prosecutor deserving of much respect. Only until a while ago I was but a wretched mutt who was always losing to you. A dancing Pierrot, living her life on the name and fame her invincible father built. True, your father, Manfred von Karma, didn't lose a single case for 40 years as a prosecutor. However, I wouldn't say he was invincible. What are you talking about? The group I'm on the trail of is a little more troublesome than most. The smuggling route we found from this time is only one sliver of the big picture. Sounds like a dangerous assignment. You really don't have to worry. I can take care of myself. Yes, I suppose you can. Plus, there is another agent on this case with me. Oh? Another agent? He's a star among Interpol agents and has the highest successful arrest rate. Who knows? You may even run into him one day. I was simply caught up in this one case. I hardly see why we would cross paths. I suppose. But I doubt he would say the same. I'm not following you. You'll understand soon enough. The fight has only just begun, Miles Edgeworth. I'll be back in this country soon enough. And when I am, you can be sure I'll pay you back. In full. And there she goes. And just like that, she's gone, huh, sir? Thank goodness! I can finally rest easy, knowing I won't have to watch out for her whip. Detective Gumshoe, I want to thank you for all your help and cooperation. Ah, it was nothing, sir. I was just happy to be able to work with you again. Oh, I think I'm gonna celebrate by adding a little extra salt to my instant noodles tonight. Just how much did you cut his salary by, Franziska? Detective, I was wondering if you might give me a ride down to the prosecutor's office. Sure thing, sir. I'll even fly down the road in the patrol car if you want. Don't make me remind you, Detective. Safety first. Thus I solved the first case upon my arrival home. Franziska Von Karma, the smuggling route she was after. The leaders of that ring had already put their trump card into play. And the players on the other side of this war, they would begin to make themselves known through the next incident. Edgeworth speaking. Ah, finally! I called who knows how many times earlier, but I couldn't get through. And you are? Ah, have you forgotten my voice, Miles, my boy? Mr. Amano? Ernest Amano, correct? Ah, so you do remember me. I know it's rather sudden, but I can't ask this of anyone else. There's been an incident, Miles. My son, he's been kidnapped. And that is the end of this case. Now, obviously, I am not going to be playing the kidnapped turnabout because this episode was dedicated to this case was dedicated to that. So I am going to go ahead and end it there. So if you guys would like to, I am thinking of going for a raid for this event. So, and I'm not just a person. We're gonna raid a very good friend of mine, Azalea22. If anybody wants to partake in this raid, we'll be raiding a good friend of mine, Azalea22. She is playing some Super Mario Party Jamboree. Here is the link to her channel if you would like to partake in the raid. And if you want to do it, the raid hashtag, which you would have to put in her chat to signify the raid, is this right here. Hashtag Forest Raid. That is all you have to do, but do not spam it more than once. It goes against not just her rules, but the rules of YouTube as a whole. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for watching. I will be back in a few hours, maybe in an hour or two, maybe half an hour even, to read the chapters 7 through 10 of Psycho. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, this is Forrest Walpole, signing off.